Yep, that's right. That is the grand total I spent on this year's trip to Los Angeles for AX 2025. And you're probably looking at that number and thinking that seems impossible. But I'm here to show you exactly how that all breaks down. Hey, what's up? It's Jan. Welcome back to the channel. And I recently got back from an amazing trip to the West Coast for Anime Expo 2025. Oh, hey there, it's Future Jan in early 2026. I forgot to edit and upload this video back when I recorded it, so anytime I say this year, I really meant last year. This is my analysis for 2025, so sorry for the delay there, and back to past Jan. I traveled by myself from New Jersey and want to give a realistic look at the costs along with some major tips for how you can plan and budget for your own trip to the other side of the country. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let's start with the two base expenses that you need to plan for, especially as a solo traveler: getting there and having a place to sleep. First up, flights. And pro tip, Anime Expo is always on the 4th of July weekend, which is a peak travel holiday, and you absolutely have to book your flights early. For example, I booked mine in March of this year, and the round trip ticket cost about $391.96 to LAX. In contrast, in previous years, I've purchased it like a month or two before the convention and went well over $600. So seriously, set a calendar reminder for 3 to 4 months out and start looking then. Don't wait. Next up is housing. I stayed at the Moxie downtown LA for 4 nights, and the total cost for that room was $1,158.12. Now, since I traveled solo, I covered the whole cost myself. And this is the number one area where going with a group can save you a ton of money by splitting the room 2, 3, or even 4 ways. But if you're going alone like I did, it's not the end of the world. My biggest piece of advice here is to use the Anime Expo hotel block. Nowadays, it opens up on the same exact day as Anime Expo badges open up. So if you're deciding to go to AX, probably want to do it at the same time badges open up. The Anime Expo hotel block offers discounted rates at hotels near the convention center, and it's competitive. But if you can snag one, it'll save you a ton of money. For many years, I've booked through the AX hotel block and was very happy with the location. You can probably check that out in my other video here. One tip that I want to give here is if you pay with a debit card, or if you have a credit card with a not so high credit limit, do note that a lot of hotels do put an incidental hold. So for the Moxie, for example, I think I paid about $125 a night. So they put about a $500 hold on my card that I wasn't really ready for when I checked in. So just keep that in mind. Technically, it comes back to you as long as you don't break anything at the end of the convention, but that is money you're probably not going to have for the convention itself. So keep that in mind. Alright, once your travel and housing are locked in, you need to budget for the essentials of attending the con. And first, your key to the kingdom, the Anime Expo badge itself. This year, a 4-day pass cost me $156.60. It will vary from year to year. Chances are it will go up year to year. But getting it earlier will save you the most money because the badge prices do increase as time gets closer to the convention itself. For food, it is very important to have a budget. I tried to budget to about $50 a day with how expensive DTLA is and also all the food options that are at the convention center. It's really easy to go way past that limit. So my meals for this convention, I also talked about in my previous video, included a mix of cheap eats, so at the Figueroa food court as well as some other fast food chains near the area, and then a few nice meals that I had at AX Crossing and around the area. Then my total cost for convention specific food was about $397.82. And finally, getting around. Even if your hotel is close, you might need to use rideshare to get to other parts of the city. Maybe you're gonna go attend different parties, events, concerts that may not be part of AX itself. As a friendly reminder, as a solo traveler, you bear the cost, the full cost of each ride. So keep that in mind. Of course, if you go with groups, you can split the rideshare, and it's probably a good way to save money. My local transport costs were $191.36. One tip for me is I did get a tap card, so that is for the public transportation system in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area. I did take the train one stop from the, I guess it's the metro stop to the, what I think it's called, Pico. So that's exactly where the convention center is. That saved me some time from going like at Fig at 7th or that area all the way back to the convention center. It cost me, what, $1 or $2 to actually get the card itself and then reload as much as you need. All right, big events. Most of the events at the convention center itself are included as part of your badge, but there are certain things like concerts and other ticketed events where you have to cost or spend a little bit of money. So for this year, on the first night, I went to the J-Pop Sound Capsule concert. Actually, here is my VIP badge. I had to buy this in advance of the event itself, and buying a VIP ticket did cost me $183.23. I had to play a bit of a game trying to click on seats. Show clicks, it's not the most fun experience. Anywho, had a blast at the concert. I talked about it in my other video, and again, concerts are probably one of the main reasons I go to Anime Expo, so definitely did not disappoint. So if you watched my previous video, I did mention that you're not locked down to seeing everything they have at the convention center itself. There are a bunch of different activities and events that sort of coincide or are in the area. So I took a side quest day to Dodger Stadium for HoloLive Night. There's a totally unique experience, and put my little prop back there. A lot of merch that I spent that day, but the post show was really fun and exciting. And so for the purposes of adding up all the costs, the price for attending this game was $82.60. I'll talk about merch really shortly. All right, let's talk about merchandise. I went into the trip with a very strict and limited budget for merch. My goal was to only pick up a few things to remember the events that I attended, some memorabilia. I did not have a budget to go through the exhibit hall and go through the artist alley, but we'll talk about that shortly. For merchandise this year, I did get an official AX shirt. I got some concert merch, wearing it right now. I also got some items from the Dodgers game, so some HoloLive exclusive items, and all together my small merchandise haul cost me $446.47. All right, now huge tip for anyone who's planning their budget. This is the most variable expense. The exhibit hall and artist alley it's basically a universe of its own. While I only spent about $500, I want to be clear, I could probably have easily spent another $1,000, maybe $2,000 if I had the budget. So decide ahead of time if you're a merch person or experienced person, and plan accordingly. I also mentioned in my previous video, sometimes when you travel really far away and you're buying stuff, make sure you have the bag space so that you can take it back on the plane or whatever method of transportation you're taking. Now, if we take all that money and add it up one last time, again, it is, drumroll please, $3,096.94. All right, so I want to add a sort of miscellaneous category. I did do some shopping at Target. I did have to get a specific bag for the Dodgers game. They only allowed transparent see-through bags, essentially. Also had to get some batteries for pen lights for the concert and some other amenities. And so my miscellaneous cost added up to $88.78. I do want to break down, give a bit of percentages on what's going on. When I do go to events, I do like to sort of come up with a spreadsheet, see where all my money went to, and see how much of those categories take up my budget. So I want to go into that briefly. For the event itself, this includes the 4-day pass, the concert tickets, any other activities I'm doing in the area. They accounted for 13.64% of all the costs of the trip, so not too bad. The next category that I have on my list is travel. So this includes the travel to the area as well as rides in the California and Los Angeles area, and that cost me, or that accounted for 18.84% of my cost. Next on the list is my housing, and that's basically the one hotel, and that was 37.40% of my budget. Do account for if you don't have a high credit limit on your credit card, or if you don't have extra money in your bank account. You do need to just budget to make sure you can cover incidentals for your hotel, so keep that in mind. I didn't do it for the purposes of this video, but still keep that in mind. Next is food, and for food I spent way too much money. So it was 12.85% of all my expenses went towards food. I do have a category that I put on all my spreadsheets. In this case it's 0, but it's sort of luxuries. So say like those sort of flight clubs where you can stay at a nice fancy room in the airport while you're waiting for your plane, stuff like that. Didn't do it this year, so it's 0. But in future videos, you'll probably see, maybe you'll see it once or twice. Who knows? And then the last, actually no, those 2 more categories. We have the merchandise category, which I mentioned spent almost $500. That accounted for 14.42% of all expenses. And last but not least, the $88.78 for miscellaneous costs, 2% and 82.87% of the travel. So all in all, makes a complete pie. Here's a spreadsheet or the pie chart of what all my costs look like. Was it worth it to do all of this as a solo traveler? Absolutely. Traveling alone gives you so much freedom to do exactly what you want to do. And I built my trip around like a lot of events that mattered most to me, and I don't regret a single penny. Well, that's maybe not true. There's maybe a couple pennies that maybe I regret, but for the most part, I don't regret it at all. It proves that you can go to these massive events by yourself and have an incredible, fulfilling time. Anywho, I really hope this breakdown and the tips were helpful for anyone thinking about going to Anime Expo in the future, whether you're going solo or with a group. And maybe if you're on the West Coast trying to go to the East Coast for a big event like Anime NYC. But I want to know, what are your best budget saving tips for conventions? Let everyone know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button to let us know you liked it. And be sure to subscribe for more convention content here on the AniCon Network channel. Thanks for watching, and check y'all out in the next one.